Hey. So, everybody does things that they do, or that's how I started. Everyone does things they do. Yeah, we all do. Anyway, so I made a bet with someone and I lost. So, I said that I would do it live, so we're gonna do it live. No makeup. Anyone who knows me or knows my story, no, I'm not in a gang. I fell off a balcony 20 feet and lost the left side of my face, so it looks like I'm in a gang, but I just got busted scars and stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to do my makeup and tell you guys a story about this crazy murder lady named Judith Hockey. So I do this, as I was saying in my other video, I do this for my girlfriend's daughter, who just isn't quite old enough to watch some of the raunchy stuff that goes on, but she loves to hear the murder stories like I loved as a kid. Not a kid, as a teenager, young woman, not a child. But anyway, so I do these for her. But my friend was like, do that shit live, or do that stuff live. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. I lost my bet, I'll do it. So first, I'm gonna tell you guys about this thing. Have you guys used these yet? It is called a Swispers. Rather than using one of these, which absorbs most of makeup, it's literally like a little silicone implant, like a breast implant, but to use, rather than these sponges or your finger, it uses a quarter the amount of makeup. It's washable, reusable. I love it. So if you haven't seen these yet and haven't used one, and you use concealer or your fingers or one of these sponges, I tell you, try it. It is called Swispers. Anyway, so I got this at the dollar store for like $1, but online and stuff, they're anywhere from like $3 to like $10. But it's phenomenal. Anyways, let me tell you guys about this crazy murder lady. So her name is Judith Hockey. All right, so she meets this guy, and she's like, oh, I love you. Oh, I think you're so great. And he's like, oh, I love you too. I have a son though. My son's name is Corey. He's like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, some crap like that. He's a little kid. His biological mom has been nowhere in his life. Dad has been raising him this whole time. And Dad gets his girlfriend, Judith. And she's like, oh, you got a son? I'm down with kids. I love kids. You should bring your son by and let me meet him. So Corey's dad like, yo, I got a girlfriend. What is that? She's like, I got a girlfriend. I want you to meet her. Let me know what you think. So he brings Corey over to the girlfriend's house. Judith's like, oh my God, Corey, you're like the cutest kid ever. I love you. Here, have some extra cookies. Oh, you want a popsicle? I mean, that's not really what was said, but pretty much that's what went down. So, when it's all said and done with after the first meeting, Dad's like, Corey, what do you think of my girlfriend? So she's a blonde haired lady, and Corey's like, I called her the lady with the yellow hair, and I was like, she's so nice, because she was friggin' nice. So after this meeting, hold on 1 second, I can't talk while I do my eyebrow. Give me 1 second. All right, so after this meeting, very shortly after, Dad's like, since you like her and I like her, let's move in together. Judith had a daughter, like right around Corey's age. So Corey's like 7 or 8, so the daughter's like 8, 9 years old. So he's like, let's move in together. Corey's dad is working nights, working days, providing for everyone. Judith is like, listen, Corey, here's the rules. Today I'm going to babysit you. Whatever you do, go upstairs and play with my daughter. Do not go in her closet. That's what she says. And Corey's like, okay, Judith, I won't. Goes upstairs. The daughter's like, hey, are you scared of the dark? Corey's like, no, I'm not scared of the dark. She's like, let's see how long you can stay in my closet. This is what this bitch does. So puts him in the closet, holds the door closed and starts yelling, Mom, Mom! Corey's in the closet. He's trying to get out. The daughter's holding it closed. Judith comes upstairs, says, get downstairs to the daughter, pulls Corey out of this closet, whoops this kid's butt. Okay, he's like 8, 9 years old. So, anyways, beats him, leaves him in the closet for the day, and when it's time for Dad to come home, is like, listen, when your father gets here, you say a friggin' word. I swear, you will never say a word again. This kid's terrified. So Dad shows up and is like, hey, Corey, how was everything today? The kid's like, oh, it was good. All right, done and over with. Very soon after, they all move in together, get married. Shit's locked down now. They're married. So, listen to the stuff Judith does. Corey's dad's working and whatnot. she starts telling him, Dad's sick. He's got a brain tumor. He's very, very sick. He wants to provide for all of us and take care of us all, but he's got a life insurance policy. So what he really wants, Corey, this kid's like 9 years old, what he really wants, Corey, is for you to kill him. He won't ever say this to you, but this is what he really wants. Corey's like, I don't think so, whatnot. So it continues on. Meanwhile, Judith is literally beating this kid every day, tormenting him. The bruises were so friggin' bad that she would put him in ice baths to try and help with the bruising so that no one would see it. So one day he's at school and his teacher's like, yo, it's the middle of summer. Why are you wearing a turtleneck? You got a turtleneck on long sleeve. Aren't you hot? Corey's like, no, I'm not hot. This is my favorite sweater. And Liddy's like, are you sure? He's like, no, it's my favorite. Please don't touch me. So the lady does it. Poor Corey, nowadays, he literally is like, I would give anything in the world for that lady to have grabbed my sweater and pulled it up and see the bruises on my arms, but he was too scared to say anything. So this continues on. Judith is beating this kid with the belt. I mean, this is a daily thing. He's terrified to say anything to his dad. So Judith starts using him against him. Starts saying, you know, Corey, what I want you to do is when your dad gets home, I want you to piss off. She's like, you know, I want you to run past him over and over again. So Corey's dad's like, chill out, calm down. And Judith's like, keep doing it, don't stop. Keeps doing it. Corey's dad freaks out on him and is like, what is wrong with you? Sends him to bed, and Judith's like, I'm protecting you, Corey. So he's, I mean, from the time this kid's like 8 years old, she's messing with his mind, traumatizing him, feeding him lies and stuff. Like I said, she put him in the ice bath, she'd whip him with the belt, she'd lock him in the closet, hold food. So then she starts telling him how he's got brain cancer, and that he's such a good man, his dad is, which his dad isn't a phenomenal man. But it's like, you know, and your dad's plan is that you kill him, and we're gonna live off life insurance. But don't ever say anything to your dad. I want you to ask him to teach you to hunt. So Corey's like, no, 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 no. She's like, no, you need to do this. If not, things are gonna get worse. He wouldn't do it, so she beat him. So he asked Dad, will you teach me how to hunt? Dad's like, yeah, I'll teach you how to hunt. For once, we're gonna bond and things aren't going crazy. I'm gonna teach you how to hunt. So, it gets me kind of stressed out just even thinking about what this poor child went through. So he goes out and teaches him how to hunt. And Judith says, when he takes you out and shows you how to hunt today, I want you to shoot him in the back of the head. And Corey's like, no, no, no. Again, the kid's like 8, 9 years old. She's like, Corey, you know what's good for you? You come home alone today. You shoot him in the back of the head. So he goes out there. Dad's teaching him how to hunt. He pulls the gun. He points it at the back of his dad's head. Again, like an 8, 9-year-old. He chickens out. He doesn't do it. So he comes home. When he walks through the door, Judith turns around and sees his dad walk in behind him. He said he knew right then and there that he was going to get the crap beat out of him, and he didn't know if he'd live. So anyways, needless to say, she does. She beats the crap out of him. And this whole time, she's like drawing wedges between all the family members. She had him lie and say that his grandfather was hitting him when he really wasn't, so that way he couldn't go see them anymore. It was some really twisted stuff this lady did. Mind you, she has her own daughter who she is not beating and is not traumatizing and torturing. But come to find out, once you learn the end of the story, you find out what this crazy lady had planned all along. So anyways, back to the story. She's so mad. She's like, I can't believe you went out there and you didn't kill him. Do you want your dad to hate you forever? I have told you already. Your dad and I have this all set up. He's dying of brain cancer. He has a brain tumor. And you have to shoot him so that we can live off of his life insurance. Why are you trying to do this to him? He's going to hate you forever. So Corey's like, fine, fine, fine. So he goes to school, gets off the bus, and at the end of the driveway, there's Judith waiting. And he says, like, she's never waiting at the end of the driveway for me when I get off the bus. So he knew something was up. So he gets off the bus with her daughter, and she says to her daughter, go ahead, I need to talk to Corey. So the daughter goes ahead, and she's talking to Corey, and she says, literally her words are, today's the day. And Corey's 10 years old. Let me reiterate this to you guys. This child is 10 years old. She's like, today is the day. And Corey's like, no, no, no. She's like, yes, I'm going to my mother's house. I am taking my daughter with me. Your father is inside sleeping right now. We've already discussed this. And he wants you to grab the gun. I've put it in the laundry room. He wants you to go in the house. Your daddy wants you to grab the gun in the laundry room and shoot him in the head while he's sleeping. because he's got this brain tumor, this cancer, and we're going to live off his life insurance. This is daddy's plan. Corey's like, no, no, no. She's like, Corey, if you know what's good for you, when I come back from my mother's house, it better be done. And Corey's like, oh God, no. So he goes in the house, he walks in the laundry room, and there's the gun. It's sitting there. So he's like, oh my God, she's serious. This is it. Walks in his dad's room with the gun, and his dad's sleeping, sound asleep. Again, I told you guys his dad works days and nights, so Judith can stay home and apparently beat the crap out of this kid. Scumbag woman she is. Anyway, his dad's sound asleep. Corey, 10 years old, grabs a gun, points at his dad's head, pulls the friggin' trigger. It doesn't go off. So he's like, oh my God. It's his old grandfather's gun, by the way. I forgot that. So it's an old gun anyways. He's like, oh my God, the gun's not going to work. All right. He's like, but if I don't try, Judith's going to freak out. He's like, I'll try one more time. It's not going to work. So he friggin' cocks it again. And he does not think it's going to go off. He pulls the trigger. It friggin' goes off, kills his dad. Judith had already instructed him at 10 years old what to do, to call 911, what to say. I've heard the 911 call. You guys can pull it up too online. Judith Hockey is the name. His name's Corey Berenger. It's a heartbreaking 911 call. The kid is literally like, hurry, I shot him, my dad, it was an accident. Judith had him lay out like hunting pamphlets and gun cleaning pamphlets to say that like his dad was awake and they were cleaning the gun together and it accidentally went off. The cops get there. Judith is still at her mom's house with her daughter, so Corey's there by himself. Obviously the cops aren't like this 10-year-old just blew his dad's head off. I mean, what cop's gonna think that? This little kid's bawling his eyes out. So they believed him, and Judith comes, and they believe his story. So this is how it all goes down at the end. So dad dies. It is ruled as an accident. Corey stays living with Judith and her daughter. She gets $500,000 in life insurance, is living off of it. And Corey says the hardest thing about all this is that she was nicer afterwards. At this time, he still thinks that the plan, I mean, he was a child. He still thinks the plan was his dad was involved, kill me for the life insurance because of my brain tumor, cancer. He's still thinking this, but Judith is much nicer after dad's killed. So, years down the road, things are going on. Corey can't take it, obviously. You know, the kid's having nightmares and stuff. He runs away from home. Judith comes and finds him, okay, and says, Corey, just so you know, I have it recorded when you killed your father and that he was sleeping. They're going to know it wasn't an accident. And so Corey got scared and he jumped in the car. Later that night, he's laying in bed and starts thinking about it. And it's like, wait a second. They're going to know it wasn't an accident. He starts doubting everything that she said about the cancer and stuff. He's like 16 years old at this time and is like, what the hell? And starts thinking like, she manipulated me. My dad never had cancer. He never even knew whether his dad had cancer. He thought he did this whole time. So he starts questioning everything. So anyways, this kid now is tormented thinking, I murdered my dad. So he goes through this, he runs away from home, whatnot, again. And Judith brings him back, whatnot. His senior year of high school, there's an assignment. This is how it all comes down. There's an assignment. And the teacher specifically says, I want you to write a paper about something that you have never told anybody, ever. It is for my eyes only. It stays between us. So Corey thinks and thinks and thinks. He does it. He writes it. He tells the friggin' story. So he's like, literally, this is what happened. Talks about the abuse. Talks about how he's not sure if his dad really had cancer and if this was part of his dad's plan or if his dad was just as manipulated as he was. I mean, this kid's friggin' tormented. At this point in time, if I don't want to say the wrong numbers, but if I remember correctly, Corey had tried to kill himself 20 times. If I remember correctly. It's like a very high number because he was tormented. Anyways, so the teacher reads this stuff and the teacher's like, oh my God, and runs and finds the cop that had showed up on Corey's doorstep that day. And the cop was like, I knew something wasn't right, but like, what do? There's no proof. You're going to tell this kid he blew his dad's head off on purpose, you know? So the cop had a feeling anyways. But anyways, confronts him. Corey's like, yeah, it's true. So Judith gets arrested. Judith is like, no, Corey's a liar, and he was always jealous, and he did it all on his own. I had nothing to do with it. Prove it. So this wench, I'm trying to watch my language, so this wench gets sentenced to like life in prison, done with, you know, she's done, never coming out again. And Corey's like, thank God, I can finally start to try and heal and rest and move on with my life. She gets a friggin' retrial. Shit gets shiznit, gets flipped, And she ends up getting sentenced. In the long run, she claimed an Alford plea, stating that there was enough, evidence to charge her, but not admitting her guilt to any of it, and was sentenced to 10 years, including the 5 years she had already served. Does that not blow your friggin' mind? Insane. So, as we can tell, the dare obviously went terrible because I didn't even get hardly any of my makeup done. So, the question now is, since we're live, you got 3 of you watching, you guys want to hear another story? Do you want to hear about some more murders while I try and finish my makeup, or are we done? Did I do my part? This is what I do, is watch murder stories, so I can tell you about more. Oops, someone logged off. Does that mean you don't want to hear it? All right, you're going to get a story whether you want it or not. Let's see, who we're going to talk about now. Let's talk about BJ and Erica Stryford, I think is how you say their names. So these are two twisted souls. One of them was in like the Army or the Navy or Marine or something. Normally I would like watch some info before I tell you the story, but you guys are kind of putting me on the spot here, so I'm just winging it. So anyways, these two people, I'm going to tell you guys the basics of what happened with these two. So I believe BJ is like in the Army or some stuff, and Erica is like this goody two-shoes. Like, had a great upbringing, things are great for her. She meets BJ, who's like a bad boy, and she's like, I'm down with this stuff. To give you guys an idea, like how he transformed her, they got like 2 snakes. One was named Bonnie and one was named Clyde. And they're like boa constrictors and like crazy stuff. All her friends were like, what happened to her? She was such a nice girl in high school. And then she went loca en la cabeza. So, she got real possessive over BJ. And was staying with him in the barracks, which is a big no-no. They got married and stuff. So she was trying to stay with him in the barracks. They got busted. He got thrown out. So now they're like, what the hell are we gonna do with our lives? We're married. How are we gonna, do this? So like I had said before, I'm pretty sure her parents had like a lot of money and stuff. So, they were like, let me help you guys. Erica liked to do like scrapbook and stuff. So they opened a scrapbook store for them. So they're like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have a scrapbook store. This is what we're gonna do. I think it was like Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend. They went to like Virginia Beach, somewhere. They went on like a little vacay. So they got there. They meet this other couple. They're going out to this bar and stuff. And they're on the trolley and they need like exact change. They don't have the exact change. So this other couple, Jeannie something, dang it. Like I said, normally I would have all the info before I started telling you the story, but I got kind of put on the spot. Anyways, look up BJ and Erica Stryford and you'll see the names of the other couple. I'm so sorry because it's disrespectful to not know the names of the victim. But like I said, I'm put on the spot. I have a lot of stories going on up here. So, anyways, this other couple, super sweet couple that like are in love. They're there on vacation too, trying to enjoy their time. They see this couple who don't have the money for the trolley and they're like, yo, we got you. So they pay for them. So BJ and Erica are like, oh, you got us? Cool, we got you. Let's go to this bar together. We'll buy you a drink. So they're like, all right, let's do this. So they go out and they go have some drinks. Things are getting wild. Everyone's having fun. I'm pretty sure there's some drugs involved, some Xanax and Coke, and like shit's getting wild. So they're like, let's go back to our hotel. And Jeannie and her boyfriend, I'm so sorry I can't remember his name, are like, all right, let's go. And Erica and BJ are like, all right, come back to our place. So they go back and they're all hanging out and stuff. And Erica all of a sudden is like, where's my purse? Someone stole all my stuff. And BJ's like, what? Pulls out a friggin' gun, holds this couple at gunpoint and tells them to strip butt naked. So these people take off all their clothes. As they're taking off their clothes, they're looking around. They're in this hotel room. Most hotel rooms, as we know, there's the door, and then there's like where the beds are, and there's a bathroom. So you're looking like, where can we go? Where can we go? The only place for them to go was towards the bathroom. So they're taking their clothes off, and BJ's got the gun on him. Erica pulls a gun out. So now we've got guns on both of them, and they're taking their clothes off, and quickly they run in the bathroom, and they slam the door closed, and they're butt naked now in there. And BJ's like, I know you stole my wife's stuff. Get out here now. I'm gonna kill you guys. And he shoots through the door. He kills them. Friggin' murders them. So, the next day, BJ and Erica, the next night, should I say, are out. And this alarm, they're at a Hooters. And the alarm starts going off because they're breaking into Hooters in the middle of the night, stealing their merchandise so they can resell it on the scrapbook, whatever, stuff that their parents set them up with. So anyways, they're breaking in, the cops show up. So they get busted, the back of their car is open as they're loading, like the alarm's going off. This is how, I don't know if they were strung out or what the issue was, or if they're just as stupid or what. But the alarm and stuff's going off at Hooters, and they're literally sitting there loading up the back of their car like nothing. So the cops pull up as they're loading up the back of their car. Oh, Jesse Cooper, I'm doing the video, baby. Love ya. So they're loading up the car, and the cops show up, and they're like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, nothing, just hanging out. And they're like, well, obviously not. You guys are stealing everything. So they start going through their stuff. Inside Erica's purse, they find this other couple's ID. They start running this other IDs that they find in it and find out these are missing people. So they start asking questions. Come to find out, all the evidence, once they go back to their hotel room and get the warrants and everything, obviously there's like a brand new bathroom door in their hotel, there's blood. Also, there was another couple they had ran into and done the exact same thing to, but they got away. So when the news came out about what they had done to the one couple, another couple came forward and was like, they did the same crap to us. So needless to say, they got sentenced. But that's some stuff that could happen to you on like a Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend. If you don't know, now you know. That wasn't like a very good story because I can't remember all the details. I have so many in my head. What happened to my thing? Anyway, so I don't know. I'm trying to think what else I got for you. I could tell you guys a story about, you guys know where Fat Daddy's is? Down there in the Dunedin area. So it used to be like a lingerie shop. Not Fat Daddy specifically. It could have been Fat Daddy specifically, but I don't want to throw any facts out there that I don't know 100% for sure. But it's right there in that plaza. But there used to be a lingerie shop there, and this girl was running it, and she got super sick. She went to like Mexico or somewhere to get all this dental work done. And from like the metal and stuff they put in her mouth, she was like deathly sick. So she's running this little lingerie shop. And when I say lingerie shop, I mean like lingerie shop, you go in and you're like, hey, that's a good looking girl. Can she put that outfit on and model it for me? That type of a lingerie shop. You know what I mean? So it's right there in Dunedin. We're in like that same plaza right there on 580. So not anymore, but it used to be. But anyway, so her friend's working there and stuff, and she gets real sick, and after she had that dental work done, her friend, she was like, listen, I'm so sick, I can't keep working here, can you please help me out? They've been working together for a long time and stuff. She's like, yeah, I got you. She's like, okay, cool, run it. So this lady's at home trying to get better, and her friend's running it, and she runs it into the ground, apparently. She runs it in the ground, not paying the landlord, the merchandise goes away, things go south. So this lady gets feeling better, and she feels like her friend railroaded her, destroyed her business, her lingerie modeling shop business. She's pissed. I didn't tell you guys this, little bonus tip. She used to work for the Hillsborough County Reserve's Sheriff's Office, so she knows a little bit about shooting some guns and stuff. She's got some backup business. So before she started running this lingerie model shop, she was working as a reserve for Hillsborough County. So she gets all pissed. She's like, my friend, I gave you this business and asked you to take care of it for me while I was on my deathbed practically from the dental work she had done in some other country. And she ran into the ground. So she shows up to her house in the middle of the night. This lady lives with her husband and like 6 kids. Okay, babies, like a 1-year-old, a 9-month-old, like little babies. Stands out front, surveillance camera, and friggin' shoots the building. Shoots them. Like bullets go flying past this baby. Thank God nobody gets murdered. Sorry, I got a text. So thank God nobody gets murdered, nobody gets hurt. So this girl obviously wakes up from all this happening and calls the police. Please come. They look at the surveillance video, and you can see the car and you can see what's going on, but you can't really tell who it is specifically. But she is like, I know that stance. I know that vehicle. That is my old business partner. And the cops are like, well, we can't really prove it, blah, blah, blah. She comes back and does it again a few nights later and shoots again. So the cops now are, investigating her and stuff. And she's like, she owns up. She's like, yeah, I did it. I shot the building. She's thinking it's like, just doing some shots. Well, the cop's like, oh, no, no, no. We are charging you with, shooting into like an occupied building. Anyways, the long and short of it was the charges were like, she's looking at like 50 to 70 years. And she's like, what? So they're like, all right, you got trial next month. Pump your brakes and wait. And she's like, okay, I'll wait. And she's like, no, I am not waiting. She jumps on a plane and she friggin' runs away. So now she's on the run. So she's on the run and stuff. And you'd think she would have learned from all that dental surgery she did and went south. And that's how everything started in the first place. But she did not learn. So she goes and she gets plastic surgery and stuff done. Okay. To change her look. Yeah, I lick my brush. Is that legit when I'm going to do my makeup? I don't know if that's normal or not, but I do it. So, she gets all this plastic surgery done to change her look. She meets an old boyfriend of hers. I believe he's like from high school or something. Starts living with him. Gets all this plastic surgery done. Mom is helping her on the side. And the cops have like threatened Mom a bazillion times. And Mom's like, no, I don't know where she is, whatnot. But she made a phone call. The cops find her. They show up. She goes outside and she's walking her dog and she sees this weird dude like standing there on his phone and she just had a bad feeling. It was undercover, the marshals, FBI. She was like on the FBI most wanted list and stuff, on America's Most Wanted. It was crazy. So, anyways, the cops get her. They take her to jail. She gets sentenced. That's done. But it's crazy when you think about it when I see this story and I'm like, what? Where Fat Daddy's is? Right there in Dunedin? Man, I hang out there all the time. That went down right there. That's some crazy stuff, right? So there's that story. I think I'm pretty much done with stories for the moment, you guys. I don't have much else to say. All that I left to do for my makeup, besides melting while I'm telling you guys all this, is my mascara. And then we're done. I mean, I'm not really doing anything. But good thing I did my makeup because my friend, Jessie, is messaging me and wants to do something. So maybe I am going to do something. Everything happens for a reason. So, all right. I've been debating whether to tell you guys about my neighbor and what happened. Because I don't want to be rude and put someone's business out there. So I'm not going to use any names, but I'm going to tell you guys what happened. So last week, if you guys saw on my Facebook, Sunday night, I came home late at night and I took some pictures for you guys. The ambulance and everything was here. So I had to go to my office to print something. And I was like, do I do it tomorrow morning or do I do it now? I had a dentist appointment at 7 o'clock in the morning. If you saw that post about, take me to breakfast and lube before you, first thing in the morning. But anyways, whole nother story. Dentist. Anyways, so I decided to go to the office. Thank God I did. So I get home. And as I'm walking in the house at it was almost 10 o'clock at night, I hear, help me! It wasn't like a scream, but literally very calm and strained, help me! So I'm like, do you hear that? I'm talking to my little brother. He's like, yeah, what is that? And I'm like, hey! And then I hear it again, and I realize who it is. So I run across the street to my neighbor. I run over there. I got my little dog with me. I even let him run across the road too, because I knew it was a serious situation. I run over there, and there was my neighbor, face down. Literally, he was trying to get in his house and fell face down, and there was blood everywhere. He's freaking paralyzed. Paralyzed. From the neck down. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? His dog's there. I'm helping him get his dog. I get on the phone with 911 and stuff, and he's telling me, he's like, I'm paralyzed. I'm like, you're not paralyzed. You're going to be okay. I could smell alcohol coming off him and stuff. So I was like, you're okay. I thought he was just hurt, from being in a weird position. Felt like he was paralyzed. So I call 911. I'll tell you guys this, and this is not a funny situation. I'm very concerned about my neighbor, but it was kind of funny how things went down. So I'm on the phone with 911, and she's like, all right, who is it? I'm telling her, I'm like, it's my neighbor. I tell her what happened. I came home. I don't really know anything that's going on. She's like, all right, does he have diarrhea? I'm like, no, I don't think so. She's like, okay, do you have diarrhea? I'm like, what? She's like, ma'am, do you have diarrhea? I'm like, no, I don't have diarrhea. She's like, okay, are you urinating yourself? I'm like, what? No. She's like, is he urinating himself? I'm getting so frustrated with this lady. If she asked me if I had diarrhea one more time, I was going to lose it. And then I finally was like, oh, COVID. Wasn't even thinking that, you know, I'm in the middle of like a crisis and she's asking me like if I'm peeing myself, if I got diarrhea, anyways. So then the ambulance and stuff shows up and these guys come in like I would have thought it was, I don't know what year E.T. came out, like 1993, E.T. hazmat suits, they come running out. So they come and I'm trying to talk to them. They're like, literally, it was like the riot stuff pushing me, like pretty much pushing me down in the road, like don't come near me. And I'm like, all right, well, let me give you the info. It was wild. So that's a story. So anyways, I didn't think my neighbor was really that hurt. I thought that, you know, he maybe had too much to drink, fell and hurt himself, needs some stitches. Come to find out, he's friggin' paralyzed from his neck down. I couldn't believe it. So that's why I asked for prayers and stuff. The next morning, he was in emergency surgery. I finally got a hold of him today and spoke to him, but yeah, he's paralyzed. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? Like, you literally came home and took your dog for a walk and fell down at your front door from a standing position and you're paralyzed from the neck down? That's some crazy business. You know, and again, anyone who knows me makes me think how grateful I am, who knows, you know, the things I've been through, the different accidents and whatnot. Like, thank God. I am beyond blessed and beyond lucky that I've survived the way that I have and whatnot. I couldn't believe this about my neighbor. So it just makes you think. That's the end of my story, I guess. I just know a lot of people had asked me, and I didn't want to put someone else's business out there, but I'm not going to put his name or anything. And I would appreciate it if everyone continues to do prayers and think of him. And I know he's a tough dude, and I think that he's going to bounce back. I got nothing but faith in him, and I told him I'll help him any way I can, but it's just so scary to think. You're literally like walking your dog, and I mean, it's not like he's 7 foot tall. He's like 5'8". Standing position at your front door, fall down, and you're paralyzed from the neck down. Blows your friggin' mind. Anyways, so my makeup is done. I told not only the one story I said I would tell, but I told multiple ones. So I did my part of the dare. It's done. Love it. I did what I said I'd do. All right, I'm going to call my girlfriend, Jessie Cooper, now. Maybe we're going to go out because I did my makeup. So thank you for daring me for doing it because now I'm ready to go. Peace, love, chicken wings. You guys stop spreading so much hate and negativity. Okay? Love each other. Be positive. All right? I'm tired of my kids, not my kids personally, but you guys know I'm a child welfare case manager, calling me like sad and terrified and negativity. Give love to one another. Be kind. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay? Everyone was taught that from like pretty much the time you're in preschool on. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay? Thank you. Peace, love, chicken wings. Hey, Modi Wody. I'll see you, New Year's. Have a good night.